Hi. So we're just gonna wait for a couple more people to join, and I'm gonna wait for Mayowa to join us, and then we're gonna get started.
Hi everyone.
So I said we'll just wait for a couple more people, and then we'll get started.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Mayowa. I'm a third year law student, so I'll probably reintroduce myself when there's more people.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Tavimba. I am a third year multimedia. Should we get started?
Yeah, might as well. Should we give it like 2 more minutes? I don't know. This is like my first Instagram live, so I don't know how these.
Never done it before. Did you wanna add the comment at the top or?
Yeah. Okay. I think you just have to pin the comment.
I'm sorry. Why can't I see it?
It might be. I don't know if it's possible. No, I can't pin it. It's there. I don't know. Maybe I might have to do it again. Just keep doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not coming.
Okay, we should probably start at when it gets to like 35.
Oh no, I can't.
I don't know if there's like maybe a button on the side. I've never done Instagram Live, so I'm not too sure.
No, but I can see. I can see other people's.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. Hi guys, so welcome to our Q&A. We're both students at the University of Kent. I'm in my third year of multimedia design and technology. So yeah, if you have any questions you want us to answer, please in the comments. We're gonna there.
Yeah. Hi guys, my name's Mayowa. I'm a third year law student. So for those of you that weren't here before, I'm also going to be helping out and answering questions today. So just send in your questions and we'll try to answer them as best as we can.
Okay. So, I mean, one in the comments saying, are you on campus? So I live off campus, but I have been to the main campus because I have a workshop on delivery. We do go to my word. Oh, can't hear you, babe.
Okay. I think it should be fine. My internet was breaking up a bit.
No problem. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what did you say?
Are you on campus a little bit more?
Yeah, so I'm currently off campus. I was on campus for my first year in Turin College, to be specific. And yeah, it was really fun. It was really a good experience, to be fair. Yeah.
So yeah, the first question I'll ask you is, what is student life?
Sorry, repeat that.
The first question I'm going to ask is, what is student life like?
Okay, so student life with COVID, it's different. It's definitely different. There's a lot of one-way systems. There's a lot of restricted areas in terms of how many people can be in one study spot. But I will say the university have done a really, really good job with trying to make sure life is as normal as possible and trying to ensure that we still get like the university experience regardless. So specifically during freshers, there was like a lot of outdoor events. Regardless, they still tried to incorporate stuff like mini golf in Parkwood. I think they had maybe like some outdoor basketball stuff as well. I can't remember, I didn't go, but they tried to ensure that life would be somewhat normal, regardless of in line with COVID restrictions, of course. But yeah, it's been different, but at the same time, I still feel like I'm getting the university experience regardless.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. So it's definitely different, but it does do what you do get used to. A lot of the work is online. You have those resources, so you can still talk. You still have access to software that you need. And actually, it does save a lot of traveling. Like if you're going to campus, you get to save a lot. Good.
Yeah.
We had one question. How do you manage society work? So actually, me and my were in the same society, but in different years. But it was called the African Caribbean Society. I was a few years old. So I think it's really just learning time. So society over as work is two different things. So you can balance. So obviously you'll see some society are a person done that. So it's never really overwhelming. Anything to add?
Yeah, I definitely agree. So for me, I'm the type of person where I work best when I have like limited amount of time because I'm able to use my limited amount of time like more efficiently. So for me, balancing societies along with university was a bit easier because it meant the times that I did have spare time, I was using it to do assignments and study. But regardless, because it's a university society, your team will always be understanding that you have work to do. And that's the whole point of having teams, that you can lean on them when you need help or like ask them for help whenever you need it. So it was a great experience. I would highly recommend it if anyone wanted to join a society, either to just be a part of it or to be on the executive committee. It's up to you, but I would highly recommend it. It didn't interfere with my studies that much.
Yeah, no, definitely. And another question is, from 1 to 10, how do you live in the first year?
Um, I would rate it like a 15 out of 10. It was like I genuinely loved it. Like the people I live with currently are the people that I lived with in first year. So two of the people I lived with in first year I live with now, and I'm in third year. So I absolutely loved my experience. Yeah, I'd rate it like a 15 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely. Campus are made on my how you get and then everything. So you have all the class, your seminar, lectures within interviews. I loved it.
Yeah. Same.
Okay. So I'm gonna answer is oh, we've already done that. So what facilities are on campus for study? So each course of the school and each school building. So I'm part of the engineering computer science course. So then we have a building that has all that we need. And we can go 24 hours all day, which is so good. You can bring laptop, equipment. And obviously we have the library, which is the main study based campus. You can go out and you can buy books, you can get for amazing. You have the gym, you have art club, you have just so many uses facilities on campus.
Yeah, just to add on to that in terms of like facilities on campus to study, there's so many. Like, even if the library's full, there's just so many to choose from in because I think every accommodation has their own study spot as well, which is really helpful. So even if you don't want to trek all the way to the library, you can always just go to your own accommodation study spot. So there's so many things. And in terms of like social life, there's gym, there's the club when COVID's like over, and we even have like a cinema and theatre on campus. So the university has a lot to offer.
By the way, sorry back when I talk, I hear myself talk. So sorry if that's okay. We've kind of this, but what restrictions are in building masks one-way system?
Yeah, so there's the one-way system stuff, and also there's obviously like the limit to how many people can be in one spot at the same time. Specifically in terms of study spots, like how many people can be in one table at the same time, or like specific study rooms or seminar rooms. Yeah, those are like the main restrictions that have been put in place. I don't know, can you add to that if there's any more that I missed out?
That's pretty much it. There are a lot of now as well. So when you sanitizing station, yeah, it's what you said, one-way systems and buildings.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about being a Kent student?
My favorite thing about the university,
At being a Kent student, yeah.
being a Kent student, I first of all the fact that Kent University was a thing for me. So you really get the university feel. So it's so easy to meet people and you've met because everything's just right to you. And our campus is big, like walking take you so long. Something to do, somewhere to see, like definitely in people still places I haven't. So I think that's my favorite thing about being.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The campus uni is a huge was the huge selling point for me personally. The fact that literally everything I need was on campus for me, especially like in first year when I didn't really know the city centre that well. It was perfect that if I didn't feel like going into city centre or it just felt like too far away at the time, that I had every single thing I needed, like shops, everything. Yeah.
Definitely. I agree. So someone asked typical day of the I'm just gonna get if like take this now. Just
Okay. Shall I answer why you're going to get earphones then?
yes, please.
Yeah. So what's my typical day week like? Well, currently everything's pretty much online. So my typical week would be watch online lectures. All of my lectures are pre-recorded, so I just watch them before the seminar. Um, Probably go to the library, do some studying, start assignments, finish up assignments. I go to the gym, so I would go to, there's a gym quite close to the university called Pure Gym, which a lot of off-campus university students use, so I'd go to that like a few times a week. And then I'd have my seminars at the end of the week, so that's pretty much what like a typical week is like for me as a university student. And when Tavimba gets back, she'll probably be able to answer what it's like for her too.
Okay, so it turns out I have no idea what it is. In my typical day, yeah, basically, so in my uni, and if we have time, open, we go to pretty much just hang out with my flatmates because of bubbles. We can't much, so just chill, watch a movie. Around we have a lot of dead, so it's a lot of times. doing uni work, deadlines done, but it's not too different. I think it's aspect as prominent, but also a part-time job as well. So
Yeah, definitely. Just to add to that as well, in terms of gym, the on-campus gym is actually free for all students that live on campus. So the first years when you come, you don't have. I don't think you have to pay for any gym membership. It's completely free, which is completely new to us who've been at Kent for a couple of years now, where we would have to pay. So that's a really, really good feature. So if you
would have
like,
been.
yeah.
Someone asked, "How do I join a society?" So there's a couple. First come to uni, there's a freshers fair. Basically, all the society little stall, and they'll just basically new members. A lot of them do take. They say you never been skiing or something, but you want to join the skiing, so you can go to a taste day, see what is, but yeah, see the people who are. It is a completely free style, so it's a really good opportunity to do something that you've never done before, try something new.
Yeah, I agree. Someone asked, are there international students? So Kent is actually like known as the European university because it's so international. Like I think there's maybe like 3 or 4 different campuses around Europe, but apart from Europe, there are a lot of international students at Kent. It's a really, really, really diverse university. And there's a lot of support for international students too as well, coming to a country to live here and that you've maybe never lived here before. There's a lot of support for students that are international as well.
Yeah, there's so many. And like Mayowa said, there's and educational support available. Come to Kent. Any more questions? Hi. Someone already said hi. So, the extra curricular, that's not even the right word, recreational.
What did you say, sorry?
What are like the recreational facilities, like
Um,
food?
yeah. Okay, so there are a lot of restaurants on campus, like a lot. I don't know what the typical amount is for a university campus, but I know that there's quite a few on the Canterbury campus. Um, different, and there's different cuisines as well on campus. If you don't want anything from the restaurants, we also have like 2 food trucks on campus too if you want to go there. So one of them is Thai, and I think one of them is kind of like street food. um Before COVID, obviously we had a club on campus that would host like different things every single week, that you could go to every week. So especially if you're a student living on campus, it's really, really convenient. If you don't want to go into town to go clubbing, you can literally just walk down the road and go to the club on campus, which closed like around 3ish, each club night. Obviously, we've mentioned the gym as well, and there's a cinema too that is like discounted for uni students. I think it was like £6 for a movie, which is obviously closed now due to COVID, but I'm sure it will be open next year, either next academic year or next year, 2021. But yeah, there's a lot of things to do when you're not busy studying and doing assignments. There's so much to do.
There's a lot. Hello from Peru.
Hi.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to ask? Shoot.
Um, what's the way? How's it been? How's your course setup been? Like in terms of specific to Kent, like how have you enjoyed it?
I've really enjoyed it. So with my course, it's actually one of 8 universities in the country that do it. So I think that was a big point for Kent. And I think just because of that, the facilities are so good. So because it's such a rare course, they've really put it. Obviously, put it. I'll speak from personal experience. And of course, we have to use a lot of different equipment. You have to go to labs, and then all of that. We'll be using software that normally cost us and we get a complete free, which has been amazing. And even with COVID, they still supply everything. Certain things were only available from the uni computer, that's from our home computer. The lectures have been amazing, and like we have come in, so the people who work for, or the people who are working for games will come in and talk to us idea of what it's like to from life to the working world that Kent has.
Yeah. Just to add in terms of like my course and how it's set up, I think the way Kent approaches law is quite different to other universities. It takes, I wouldn't say it's a more relaxed approach, but more of a critical approach. We're called like the critical law school because we're taught to look at the law from different perspectives as opposed to like the more traditional aspects. So yeah, and like Tavimba said, there's always like loads of resources in terms of my school always tries to like introduce these things called module hours where people that are practicing in that area of law will come in and speak to us about it. So that's really, really interesting. I think Kent is really good for bringing in people to help us get like a more round knowledge of the topic that we're studying.
Mm-hmm.
But what made you choose Kent?
What made me choose Kent? So I think I've done it already. The first, not many universities, of course, so that was Kent as a whole, and I was actually going to leave the question at Kent is like a nice place. So it's definitely a breath of fresh air. It's so like it's green everywhere. So it's just really you're into the outdoors, walking, cycling, riding bikes. Well, if you like being outside, basically Kent is just an amazing place. It's so big, like it's literally huge. So there's so many places you can go. You have the beach nearby. Well, you have beaches nearby. Obviously very so. I mean, I haven't, but if you want to go to France for a day, you can do that easily. I think I just really enjoyed Kent, like the university. I like university and like. What about you?
I think I was sold from the moment I heard that there was like a cinema and a club on campus. That really sold me. But in terms of like my choosing my course and stuff like that, I think what really motivated me was the fact that it was like a top 20 law school. The grade requirements were in line with what I wanted and what I could achieve as well. But most importantly, like the campus university aspects, like the fact that it literally, and it does feel like a community, it literally feels like a community on campus. I think it's mainly because everything is so close together and everything is just here. But yeah, that was the key thing that sold me, like how good the law school is and the fact that it was a campus university. I felt like I'd be able to get the proper university experience as opposed to maybe like a university that's in the city that you have to travel to different places. But yeah.
No, I definitely agree. And then my next question is, what do you think of as a place? Ooh, I don't know if you heard me. There you go. Ooh. Hang on, you're breaking up a little bit. You cut out. Can you hear me now? Ooh. Right. So I'm not sure if you can hear. There we go. What do you think of the whole? Okay. I don't think she can hear me, so I'm gonna answer the question just while her internet refreshes. So, like I touched on just now, Kent is huge. It's known as the Garden of England. So there's greenery all over the place. We're situated right on top of Canterbury town. So it's literally like a 5 minute bus ride to go down into town. And then there we have another cinema, we have restaurants, we have clubs, we have bars, we have basically anything that any regular town would have. So it's really nice if you just want to get a day out, you just want to get away from uni for a couple hours, you can go down there. And Kent as a whole, like we said, there's so many buses and so many links to different places in Kent. So if you want to go to Whitstable, it's about 20 minutes. You can be on the beach there, or you can go Ramsgate, you can go Margate, you can go Dover. Oh, she cut off. But yeah, you can just get a bus and go around basically anywhere in Kent. So if you like being outdoors, if you like the beach, if you just like going out and exploring, Kent is just an amazing place to go to university. I'll wait for Mayowa to come back before I answer the next question. Actually, let me answer, and she can finish answering when she comes back. So, which accommodation is the best? So, that's definitely down to preference. So, if you want an ensuite versus if you don't want an ensuite, if you want self-catered versus catered accommodation, that just all depends on what you're looking for, basically. So, I'd say, in my opinion, the nicest accommodation that is ensuite and self-catered would be Turing Flats and Parkwood Flats. Like, they're really nice. You share with about 6 people, I think, and a really nice kitchen. You have an ensuite as well. But they are the most expensive on campus. I think they're around 7 to 8K. She's bad.
Sorry, my internet cut out.
No, it's fine. But yeah, if you're for like catered accommodation, nice. So honestly, just I was just answering which accommodation.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'd be biased to the accommodation that I stayed in first year, but yeah, like Tavimba said, there's loads of different accommodations. So it depends on what you can afford, and it depends on what you think is most important. So I knew from the beginning I really wanted an ensuite. I knew I didn't want to share with anyone else, and so I picked Turin, and because it's like the newest accommodation too, I picked Turin College for my accommodation in first year. But the accommodations are also different. There's literally something for everyone because we have so much accommodation. So I think the best bet is to go to the open day, look at the accommodation tour, or come down to Kent when obviously the COVID restrictions are a bit lighter, and just look around the accommodation, because I think that really, really helped, because there's just so much to look around.
Definitely. Yeah. I think we are thinking about to wrap up. So you have questions with them and we'll get them. But yeah, so there is going to be another Q&A. Is it next week or the week?
I'm not too sure. I think it's either this week, this Thursday, or next Thursday. I'm not too sure.
So there'll be another one. So if you weren't able to answer in this one, then feel free to follow the next one. We do have a special open day on the 6th of January. So if you are and you're not able, we're obviously have an day, just come to our virtual one. If you have any questions about the campus or course, about the uni.
Yeah, definitely. You can always email the university as well, or DM us on any of our social media platforms, and there'll be someone that can get back to you as quickly as possible. And the people behind the platforms are usually students that'll be able to reply back to you, so you'll be able to really get an on-hand perspective.
But yeah, okay. So much for tuning in. And thanks you to my guys.
Bye.